Welcome to Your Cyber Path, the podcast that helps you get your dream cybersecurity job by sharing the secrets of experienced hiring managers and top cybersecurity professionals with you. Now, on to the show.
So before I spend any time, money, effort, blood, sweat, and tears on trying to figure out what cert I need to go get, is there anything I can do, any advice you can offer in terms of how do I make sure I'm a fit for cybersecurity?
Yeah, I would say, one of the biggest misconceptions in cybersecurity is this idea of entry-level cybersecurity. And I really do blame a lot of the camps and the colleges that have the for-profit side of their programs that aren't a computer science degree or a cybersecurity degree. They have these certificate programs. And if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, you're probably seeing them 100 times a day. Go to University of Miami, 6-month program, advanced, certificate in cybersecurity and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that assumes that there are entry-level cybersecurity jobs. And Kip and I have also talked about this on our podcast before. Mm-hmm. And he uses a great example of an airplane pilot, right? If I'm going to fly from Orlando to London on a 787, which is a huge jumbo jet, right? The pilot on there is not an entry-level pilot. They've been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years. And they started out in the small little Cessna. And then they hold 4 people. Then they went to an executive jet. Then they went to a regional jet. Then they went to a Southwest jet. And they kept going bigger and bigger. And now they're there, right? So if you say, what does an entry-level 787 pilot look like? It's somebody with 10 or 15 years of experience. What does an entry-level cybersecurity person look like? Generally, they have, somewhere between 2 to 5 years of IT-related experience, or they have 2 to 5 years in a related field. And I would classify that as things like accounting and bookkeeping, especially if you're going to the auditing side in PCI DSS, which is credit card audits and processing, or doing any kind of Sarbanes-Oxley complaint. That all ties into the cybersecurity world as well. I have a couple of friends who came from the accounting world. They got their CISA, and now they're doing auditing. As somebody who came from the auditing world and the accounting side, financials, now they're doing it in cybersecurity. So I think that's the first thing. You have to understand where you are and realize that if you are applying for an entry-level cybersecurity job, they're really not entry-level. They're already expecting a couple of years of experience under your belt to be able to make it work. And then we can start talking about what certs matter, right? So if you're talking about which certs matter to get a job in the help desk or field services, that's obviously going to be A+, which is hardware and software from CompTIA. If you're going to go into networking, Network Plus or CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate. And once you get to security, kind of the last one in the system admin level before you move into security is going to be your Security Plus. And I saw in the comments that, Justin says he took the CompTIA courses and got a Security Plus. That's exactly the right step. That's, if you look across the board at these different job postings, I'd say that, 80 to 90% of them are asking for Security Plus. And in my world, in the government world, out of all the positions they have, about 75, 80% of the positions require Security Plus. And if you don't have it, you have to get within 6 months when they fire you. So it's really important in this government contracting world or government civilian world. So that's kind of my recommendation is start with Security Plus. It's going to give you a good foundation across the board. And then we can start talking about where you go ahead of that in the certification scheme. And generally the next step would be CYSA Plus, which is Cybersecurity Analyst Plus, which is where you start doing entry-level, SOC level work. Somebody who has 0 to 2 years of experience working in a security operations center. Kip, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you're exactly right. And the fact that you quoted me is how I know that you're right. And I'll just add that there's another dimension to this as well, which is how do I know that cybersecurity is a good choice for me? Okay. Well, you have to have spent some time, I think, getting to know yourself. And, who are you as a person and what are your work preferences? And you can do a DISC profile. You can go find free DISC profiles on the internet. And if you do one, it's going to help you understand what your work preferences are. So just quick example. If you're the kind of person who likes to interact with people, you like to talk to people, you like to spend time with people, but then you go get a cybersecurity job and you become a pen tester, you're in big trouble because pen testers don't spend the day talking to other people. They spend the day sitting and staring at a computer, not saying anything and typing and that's what that job is like. And just like I didn't find flying airplanes as a good fit for me, who I was a person and what I thought was interesting work, you're going to find yourself frustrated because you're in a job that is not playing to your strengths and is not, giving you energy. And the reverse can be true, right? If you're a person who gets energy by being alone, reading a good book or something like that, and you get a cybersecurity job where you've got to answer phones all day long because you're the, cybersecurity help desk person and you're resetting passwords and talking to people, you're going to hate life because that is not who you are. So I think it's very wise to ask yourself, who am I and what cybersecurity job makes sense for me?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Kip, because one of my last jobs with the government, I was in a position, I had worked my way up and I was very senior level. I was in charge of defense for global cyber operations at US Cybercom in the J35. And the big problem was it was so strategic that when I made a decision or made a choice, it was like playing chess. I was making a decision today that wouldn't be implemented for 18 to 24 months because that's how long it takes to get throughout the entire DoD across 7 continents and 30 to 40 countries, right? And so for me, I hated it. That job was probably the worst job I ever had in the 20 years I worked with the government because it was so high level and so focused on this high level frameworks. And it was such a long time horizon. I love when I ran a SOC. I love when I ran an IT network and there was problems and trouble tickets coming in and things going down because my days went really fast. If I had to sit behind a keyboard and do strategy for 8 hours a day, I go insane. It's just not for me. And yet I have a friend who he loves that stuff and he hates doing the day-to-day stuff. And so, it is important to know yourself and what you like to get the right role. And then the other thing, you mentioned a pen tester role. I think the other thing is a lot of times people don't know what's involved with a given role. So everybody says, I want to be a pen tester when they go to cybersecurity. I hear that all the time. Well, I'll tell you right now, there are 4 jobs for cybersecurity analysts for every 1 job there is for pen testers. So people say, should I go blue team or red team? Well, you probably should go blue team because there's 4 times as many jobs out there and you'll make more money and have an easier job, right? But if you like puzzles, then maybe that's more your style is going pen test. And then the other thing I think with pen test is, and Kip does pen test in his organization with his team, is 90% of your time at a pen test is not hands-on keyboard hacking something. It's doing the reports. It's gathering the information, doing the reconnaissance. And it's a lot of prep to hit the one button. It's not like what you see in a movie where like, hold on, I'm in, hack the Pentagon. It doesn't work that way, right? It takes months and months to get ready to do that execution.
Yeah, that's right. So I would recommend cyberseek.org. That is a great place to go to learn about the different options that are available, the different types of cybersecurity jobs. There's so much available that people just don't even know about. And then I would also recommend that you go to my LinkedIn. I made an account on LinkedIn. It's called at CyberPathMaker.
Yeah,
and pinned to the top of that feed is a mind map that shows you all the different roles at a high level: blue team, red team, builder, breaker, defender, and it really gives you a good sense of what's the landscape. So go take a look at that, go study it, and that should help you.